In this video, what we're going to do is create a figure with 4 different subplots. This comes from the second page of the lab. Each one of these subplots is going to contain precipitation data and will be for one of 4 years, from 2013 to 2014. Note that these subplots will go from 0 to 365 days, the x-axis, and they'll go from 0 to 5 inches on the y-axis. Note that we have a grid and that each one of these subplots has a title. So let's hop into MATLAB and see what we did before and how we can put this all together. So previously, in the last video, what we did was clean up the GC data, and we recombined it all into one large matrix which contained the year, the month, the day, the precipitation, the snow depth, and the snowfall. What we're going to do now is create the first figure, 4 charts of rainfall for each of the 4 years. So this is going to be divided into a number of different parts. First, we're going to create the figure window. Then what we'll do is we'll create the first plot. And this will be for 2013. Now, in order to create this plot, what we're going to need to do is get the data out of the GC matrix, which is for 2013 and for precipitation. So we want to extract the precipitation data from 2013. After we do that extraction, then we can build our specific subplots. So then we'll build the first subplot, and after we build that subplot, then we'll do some modifications. We'll add the titles, axes labels, and so forth. Okay. So first, creating this figure window. This is pretty simple. Type figure 1. The reason that we want to do this in this lab is we're going to create 3 figures overall, and it's good to just name the figures as we go. Now we need to create this first plot for 2013, and we're going to extract the precipitation data from 2013. So I want to have this matrix, which is called Precip 2013, and I want this matrix to have 365 elements, and to have each one of those elements be the amount of precipitation on each day of the year. So our precipitation data is in the 4th column of this CG data matrix. So CG data, we want to get some certain rows and the 4th column. So let's add some logic in here so that we only get the 4th column from 2013. Well, to get only 2013, we need to set up a logic structure that set up this logic structure so that we find all of the rows that has 2013 in the first column, because the first column is year. So we want to find all the rows GC data that are in the first column. And we need to use the find function to return those indices. So let's go, this needs to be GC. So let's go through this quick again. We want to get out the precipitation data from 2013 for each day of the year. So in order to get the precipitation data, we need the fourth column. So we're getting the fourth column out of CG data. We only want to get select rows. Which select rows do we want to get? Well, we want to get the select rows which correspond to this logic. We want to get the GC data first column, that's the year column. We want to look through all of those rows and compare that and make sure that we're in 2013. By using the find function, we'll be returned the indices, or the locations, where this is true. And then we'll use those indices, or those locations, in order to pick out which rows we want to get the precipitation for. So let's give this a save, give this a run, go back, take a look at what we got. So if I look now for my Precip 2013 data, let's double click that, and we can see that we've got 365 days. And let's just look, make sure this works. So I know the 29th day, that's 3.15. Let's go to GC data, look through the 29th day. Yep, the fourth column, the precipitation, 3.15. So that worked. So now what we need to do is build our first subplot. So we're going to use the subplot command, and the subplot command contains 3 arguments. The first is the number of rows, the number of subplot rows we're going to have in our figure. We're going to have 4 different subplots. Second is the number of columns, and the third is which particular plot you're going to make. So we're going to have 4 rows, 1 column of subplots, and this plot is the first. And then we want to plot our data. So we'll plot Precip _ 2013. Plot the data from 2013. And I'm gonna save, give this a run. And here we've got our 2013 data. Now we don't have everything quite yet in this plot. We've got too many days listed here. We want to stop at 365. We'd like to stop this at 5 inches. We need an axis label. We need a title. So let's go back to our script. So let's start at the axis. So we'll use the axis call. And when you use this access method, there are 4 different, well, actually it depends on your plot, but for a 2D plot, there are 4 different arguments which need to go inside of a matrix. So the first is the x limits. So starting x, ending x. And then the second, the third argument, the fourth argument, this is starting y and ending y. So this is x axis limits 0 to 365, and y axis limits 0 to 5. Let's stick in the title next. So we're going to call this 2013 Daily Precipitation. Let's put in our y label our y-axis. That is going to be inches. And let's stick this in so that this doesn't keep coming up. I'm going to get rid of this quick. Okay, let's give this a save. We'll say add a title. This is our y-axis label is, maybe we'll just leave it like that, y-axis label. So let's give that a save, give that a run. Looks good. The only thing I think we're missing is our grid. Save, give that a run one more time. Looks good. Alright, so because we're going to use these same lines of code over and over again for each of our 4 plots, I'm going to copy and paste. Copy, paste. So now this section, we're going to create the second plot. This will be for 2014. When I extract out the 2014 data, call this variable precip 2014. And again, we want to find where the first column of this GC data matrix, looking through every single row, is the 2014 year. This is going to be our select rows, and then we want to pull out the 4th column of those select rows from the GC data matrix. So we're going to build the second subplot. We still want 4 rows and 1 column of subplots, but this is going to be our second. We want to plot this new matrix, precip 2015. Our axes look alright. Let's do 2014 for our precipitation. Our y label is inches, and we've got our grid. Let's give this a run, and you see that we've got now 2 of these subplots. So we'll finish this video here. What you want to make sure that you do is continue this process so that you get 4 subplots, including the data for 2015 and the data for 2016.